When I went before the judge literally asked me how old I was. And by this time I had turned 18. And so I told him, I'm 18 years old. He said, well, I'll sentence you. And so I told him, I'm 18 years old. He said, well, I'll sentence you to 18 years, 18 aggravated years. And the minute that he sentenced me, I remember my family just screaming at the top of their lungs. My mom specifically hit her knees in the courtroom, was crying. They grabbed me, they handcuffed me, they took me back to that cell. And it was when I went into that cell, it was the most dirty, darkest, it was just nasty. And it seemed like at that moment, everything that I had ever done had all hit me at once. It was like the world was just closing in and my mind was opened up, and I began to see all the bad choices I made. And I just leaned against the wall and tears started running down my face, and I slid down the wall in that cell and I prayed and I said, God, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, because I got to do 9 years before I even get a chance to come home. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And I just felt his presence so strong on me that it's amazing that at that moment I knew it was going to be all right. And so anyways, when about 3 or 4 weeks later they sent me off to TDC. And while I was in the county, I was getting into a lot of trouble, fighting all the time, was in riots, I was selling cigarettes, I was just hard-headed, I was aggravated, I didn't care at that time. And so something changed in me when they sent me to TDC. I started getting tired of, acting the way I was acting. I started seeing, the choices I was making, and that there was consequences because I was getting in a lot of trouble, and it just wasn't worth it. So when I got to TDC, I made a decision, a conscious decision, that I was going to use that time in TDC to seek God, to go to school, to be productive, to turn my life around. And so that's what I did, for the next 8.5 years. I studied his word every day. I would fall asleep on the Bible, just memorizing chapters and books of the Bible. And I would, got to where, I was well learned in the scriptures, and I started teaching other brothers and leading them to Christ, and I was teaching Bible studies. And, I ended up graduating from college, and I graduated with a 3.7, cum laude. And, it was just a learning experience for me, because when you're in prison, you don't have no hope, especially in a situation where you're not going home anytime soon. And so, every day the days drag out and the clock just ticks every day, and you have to find something, to keep you going. And, God kept me going. Christ, his spirit, and by his grace is the only way that I was able to do 9.5 years. At that time when I came up for parole, it just so happened that
Wanna follow, cause only God